Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. The volatility is crazy this morning. Bitcoin, can we hold 92K? My goodness. Let's go. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Bitcoin taking a beat down, getting a pump up. They're playing around, but at least we're above 90,000. Can I get a clap for that? I don't know. But let's see what's happening. Let's break down the chart. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Let's have some fun. And let's do it like we do every single day. Let me get my other earphone in. It's nice to be locked in, so nothing else distracts me. I'm right here with the charts, baby. Shout out to all my beautiful people. I don't know why it looks like I'm late in here. Something weird on the playback, but we'll figure that out later. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. 92,200 for Bitcoin trading group making gains. Last night we made massive gains. I'm calling bottoms. I'm calling entries. This morning I did get taken out out of this right here. I called along out of this flag, and they just went out of nowhere, just bumped it, pumped it, dumped it. And I decided, you know what? I'm out right now, just so everybody knows. I'm out of any day trade for the moment. It's just too ridiculous. Too many ups and downs in price action. That's not my thing. That's not what I go for. But last night, I mean, you woke up into gains. We sold the gains, and everything kind of kept going our way. So super excited to see what's happening. The 4-hour is away from the 21-day moving average. I mentioned this in the update. I hope people understand when I mention these things, it's important. Like, you really got to connect to that 21 when the stochastics are getting overbought and you're away from the 21. There's always going to be some type of stall out. It never gets a continuation pump forever. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a little more funny. I'm lit a little differently today, but it looks interesting. I'll take it for now. Oh, I see why. The top light is out. I was about to say, I'm like, the top light is missing. I'm about to say, it's funny. I could pick, when you look at something every day, you don't notice it, but you notice it. You know what I mean? Like, you won't notice that you notice something because your mind is just so always into seeing that. That's kind of how trading works. You'll see the charts so much, but you'll be able to kind of use them in a way you never thought possible. So let's see if I can get the top light on. There we go. Give me some top light over here. That changes everything. Flashes it. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's talk about BTC. Let's see what I see happening, where we're going. Remember, we got the Tesla, the gold, the silver trades going. They're just kind of sitting, right? But we're up a nice 500. We'll see. And this could end up being a nice $5,000, right? This could, at the end of December, this could be $15,000, right? So just patiently waiting for the setups to play out. Even Bitcoin, look, it just got the massive rip up back to 93.6, all the way back down again. Crazy. So let's take a look at what's happening, how they're moving this price around, and let's do what we do every single day. Bitcoin right now on the 1 hour time frame, that's not right. I think that's back in time. I think we have to, yeah, that's like a fast forward or so. Yeah, you got to get out of there. I was about to say. So let's take a look at BTC. I'm on the perpetual on MEXC, which is good enough for me. Actually, yeah, I'll just do what we always do. We'll do spot BTC on Binance, but we could also do perp Binance, right? Which I don't always do. Funny. I mean, we do trade perp, so. But let's take a look at BTC. I like to do spot. I'll just stick to what I do. Spot BTC on Binance. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the daily close from the day before. That's just the first thing I want to see. I want to get some information. And you can see it was a bullish close. We opened at 86,286 and 1 cent. The high was 92,307 and 65 cents. The low was 86,184 and 39 cents. And the candle would close at 91,277 and 88 cents. Up $4,991 and 87 cents of the day. Up 5.79%. So, nice big daily candle. Huge, bullish engulfing. You would assume the next candle is going to be a bullish one because you could fit this candle inside of that candle. Doesn't mean it's 100%, but you would assume most of the time this would be a bigger move to the upside. So the daily looks interesting, but it is also kind of slumping around. It did also get above kind of this resistance, right? So you could say, can the daily hold above 91,000, 90K? That would be nice. Can we stay above the 21-day moving average? And can we move on up to the 50 moving average? There's a beautiful gap in the VRVP here. We are above the high volume node. I think that's a POC. It is. Right now, we're above the daily POC in the local area of price action. Very, very strong. You can gap all the way back up to 102,000. You can see it. And then really 103.5 right there because it just, you could see a slump on over. So the next area of liquidity that we're likely going to go to is here. Okay? That's just what's likely going to happen. We should have continued this dump. That was a bear flag. The bears were in control. The fact that we got stuck by this high volume node is amazing. We got through the gap. We're above the point of control. To me, starting to say on the bigger idea without getting too crazy that we're going to go, and again, we could go here and dump. I'm not saying it's amazing. It could end up being a lower high or something, but I just see this area of liquidity as a pretty big area. $102,000 BTC. So I'm not guaranteeing anything. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. In fact, I have no clue where Bitcoin's going to go. None at all. I have no idea. I have not the slightest idea. I really don't. I believe they're going to continue to print money. 5 years from now, Bitcoin will be higher than it is. That's what I truly believe. But besides that, I don't have any more conviction. And by doing that, I'm able to trade it day by day. Whatever comes my way, whatever I see happening, I take it. And that's how I trade BTC. So welcome to basically one of the best, one of the funnest day trading shows in the entire web. We've been live every single day since February of 2021, never taken a day off. No matter where I travel, where I go, I'm going to present you the same show with professional audio, good quality video, and just great commentary. So jump on in every single day. We love to have you. You guys make it happen. We appreciate it. Please hit the like button. Jump on in. Everybody's jumping on in now, getting ready for the stream. All right. So the daily candle suggests we should have a bullish candle. And we just got a few parameters. Let's stay above the point of control. Let's stay above the 21-day moving average. That's all that matters right now. So we have some things like at the end of the day today, if we stay above the POC and the 21, we're okay. And we can just, I take it one day at a time. How will today close? Where do we go from there? And so on and so forth, right? You don't want to get too heady into your head about the future. You can project all you want. That's great. But we got to take it one step at a time. You're the man lifer. Shout out to you, Sugar Shane. That's so cool for you to say. God bless you. That's very nice, man. Very nice of you. Shout out to all the people that love and support me every single day. You people are amazing. God bless you all. Thank you so much for the constant viewership, love, and support. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Big back below 91,000, right? Funny, Coinbase. Coinbase has a stark warning to investors as Bitcoin breaks through critical support levels, citing multiple bearish indicators, including massive ETF flow, whale distribution, and compressed valuations of digital asset treasuries. The asset assessment comes as that's so bearish. It's like you have a short going, so you put out this trade. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. Well, you think higher probability setups for a favorite breakout trader over a knife catch? You got funny. If you come to the end of this, there'll probably some way they're like pushing something. JP Morgan, this could trigger forced institutional selling between 2.8 billion and 8.8 billion stablecoin liquidity contracts. The 30-day momentum has posted its weakest reading since 2023, with a shrinking supply reflecting deleveraging and capital leaving on-chain rails for fiat or safer assets. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I got out, and I guess I have insight, right? So there's got to be a reason I saw something. I saw weakness in the markets. There's still opportunity. That's what I understand. I love, it was just amazing money to be made last night. Thousands of dollars overnight. It's kind of crazy, right? If you're not on 3 accounts, get the likes up. You're just not living right. God bless my man, Christine. Oh, God bless Christine Ghost. Christine, we love you. Sitting there thinking you're Chris, and then I see Christine. God bless you. That's so nice of you to say. Please get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. So then I always look at the monthly every single day. We started looking at the monthly every day, I don't know, 6-7 months ago. I used to look at the monthly once a week, but now we look at it a lot more. It became needed because Bitcoin expanded and the monthly had more information. So we started having to cover the monthly. So what do we know about Bitcoin on the monthly as we zoom out every day and don't get too emotional on the smaller time frames? Well, we can see that we have resistance at 102,000. So the next area, and right there at 96. So we'd have some resistance at 96 and some at 102. Funny, it says basically we would blow right through 100K. Like 100,000 would not be a key level to worry about. We would basically blast right through it. So that's an interesting concept, just when you look at the monthly. You're getting more oversold, but again, crossing that dotted line could create major pain. When the monthly crosses the dotted line, it usually begins a multi-month bear market. You see what I'm saying? Right there it did. So we'll see. But it is getting oversold on the monthly. And all it takes is this candle to flip back red again, and the whole thing is just kind of cooked. And we're very close to that happening. This could actually cook, come down here, then come back up and make the right shoulder too as well. That's what I figured was going to happen. You could say, well, we wicked there, Sam. It happened. Yeah, but I like those candle closes on the monthly personally. They tend to want to make it happen that way. But again, if we can close the monthly like this, that's a bullish sign. Every single time the monthly closed a green next to a red, we did make a move to the upside, except for here. But it wasn't a bullish engulfing. You know what I mean? That wasn't engulfing either, but we did get a rip. But more likely than not, if we can close a green candle next to a red one, like right here, reversed. Right here, massive reverse. Right there, a little bit of something. It wasn't the best, but it gave us 2 months of love. Right there, 4 months of love. Right there, 6 months of love. Right there, 3 months of love, right? So this would be cool. You get that close, and again, it could be the one time right here we don't, but that was also the top of a rally, and we were moving down. This is the end of a downward rally. We should be moving up. So, just in general. I'm just going over the generalities of trading. Not saying any of this is guaranteed. So when I look at that, it says, okay, you close the monthly like this, then we would have to assume we would get a bounce, right? I'm just going over the odds. I'm not pushing my ideas on you. I'm not saying I have a beautiful strategy that I'm selling you. Heck, most of the stuff I teach you is the charts itself. I just teach you that the charts are there for you to find out what you can do with them. They're there for you. Shout out to the 1,200 beautiful souls here on the line. Unbelievable. Thank you for jumping on in. I don't know where you guys were, but thank you for those beautiful people that just jumped on into the stream. I'm in love with y'all. I'm in love with the fact that the energy is always pumping here every single day. Vegas Claude, Du Tang, the Crypto Surfer. We got Christine Ghost with the 777s. Oh, Goss, I believe, yeah. We got John James Power in the house. We got Servando Estrada in the house. We got Du Tang. Again, my man. Reminds me of that Wu-Tang. So we've got cool people here full of honest to God, goodness, great energy. Sam, Dennis Fetters here in Abu Dhabi. Thank you for bringing the Pionex bots to the lifers. I've been using them for years. Very successful. Now our lifers group will benefit. I would love to take a Zoom with you if I could be so blessed. I think that would be the smartest thing to do, is to lay down and ask the master. But anything you could do to help, I'd appreciate it. I believe you sent us our email. I know Jamie's probably talking to you, but I would love to talk with you, man. I think sitting with you for an hour would probably save me hours of my time. And I like doing that. I'm about giving people expertise in a small amount of time. If I could get that from you, I would be blessed. Thank you so much, man. And I hope you're having a good time in Abu Dhabi. Looked up your website, saw the things you've done, man. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. You got those crystal blue eyes, bro, like me. Lifers in the house. I remember that specifically about your pictures. Like some of the most glaring eyes I've ever seen. As if you were from another planet, right? Maybe you're a Pleiadian. You never know. Starseed from another planet, man. I always think I'm something from another planet. It would make more sense. I never fit in, you know? Okay, so Dogecoin to the moon. It's almost Christmas. I know. How much initial capital I need to quit my 9 to 5? Honestly, it would depend. That's such a question because it depends on your expenses. It depends on what you can live under. It depends if you're ready to handle the ups and downs of trading. Some months are going to be big. Some months could be small. You know, I don't know exactly if you're ready emotionally for the, you know, the constant paycheck is a little simpler and easier, you know. Okay, so thank you. So we're looking at this idea, right? And it's funny, man. Anyway, your vibe attracts your tribe 100%. Sam, ever heard of Troy Black? He said God gave him a prolific word that Solana under 100 is a good buy. I'm waiting and just... I don't like people that tell them God told them to buy things. You know what I mean? I just, whatever, man. I love everybody. But to me, like, if I'm running a Discord and I was like, listen, everybody, I had a dream last night. God told me to buy Solana. He's going to lead us to the promised land. I don't know, man. I like to keep my religion. I say thank God for the knowledge you gave me. And I always say thank you for the gains. Like, some people laugh too when I pray for the gains. They're like, but that's what I do for a living. Like, if I was planting seeds and I grew a good crop, I'd say thank you. So, I'm just thanking God for what has been given. The daily looks like a bear market being under 50 and 200 MA for so long, but the monthly offers hope with higher lows. I'm struggling to find a bear market. Any insight? No, it's very simple. It's a bear market. Yeah, you don't have to struggle. We're in a bear market. I've been saying that to every single person here. We're in a bear market, period. Like when you're below the 200 for more than 2 weeks, you're in a bear market. To me, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I'm very definitive in what I do with my DA. See, I always say I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, and I go back and forth, right? I'll take a look at, but I'm definitive when I'm about certain levels. So below the 200 moving average, bearish. That was a bear flag right there. It was clear as day. That was our signal that we take every morning on the 1 minute. When the 1 minute crosses the 200 and we cross the 21. Same signal. I always tell people, if you can trade it long, then you can trade it short. So to me, there's no confusion at all. We're in a bear market, period. Shorts are paying. That's why it's weird when people are making money now long and my strategies play it out, people don't get it. That's why if you made money in my trading group on these 2 green big pumps, you'd be like, how? Like, we were up huge last night. How? Because my strategy is very good at seeing any type of reversal, even if it's very minuscule. All right? It's also good at finding weakness in the reversal. All right? Just be consistent and no emotions if you can. Yeah. So we're in a bear market. When you're below the 200 moving average for more than 2 weeks, that is a defined bear market. Anyone telling you different, you've been 30 days underneath the 200 moving average. You'd say, but Sam, we were underneath it here. And yes, we were for about 25 days, but you could see we started to climb back up strong. We made a beautiful bullish divergence. And you just don't see that. Yeah, there you could have said that was kind of a bullish div because it was such a vast move down. And we could be reversing. And my whole thing is this. People will say, if this reverses and we break back up, everyone says we weren't in a bear market, we were in a correction. No, we were in a bear market. We got pulled out of the bear market. And you just say it was just a 60 to 50, and it may be a 90-day, 40, maybe 3 to 5 month bear market. But it was a bear market. So don't get confused. Just like when you're above the 200 MA, you're in a bull. So everyone say, well, why weren't you in a bear market here? I'll be honest, because the bigger levels haven't been crossed yet. At this point, the 2-day was well above the 200 moving average. You see what I mean? So I'll allow a little bit of daily play below the 200. But you can't be going below the 2-day 200 moving average. That's just, we never did that the entire bull run. You see? The second you went below the 2-day 200 moving average, and then I started telling you we're going towards the 3-day 200 moving average, that's a very bearish sign. Now, right now we're getting lucky. We're getting caught by the 3-day, and it happened here too. And so and the thing is, the fear and greed was the lowest I've ever seen it in a long time. It tells me there just almost has to be a bounce here, probably somewhere back. And they got to get the people that went very hard. You have to mean the biggest money goes into trades for long periods of time. Okay? I'm going to kind of talk about, I got so much to talk about today, man. I was like, I want to say 7 things at once and I got to slow my mind down. But I'm just ready to rev up and give you so much information. And I can't wait. I'm just so excited. 92.55 is a great price too for Bitcoin right now. I like this kind of little flag here. We'll talk about all this in a second. I almost have to write down my thoughts because I just had so many at one time, and I gotta give it to you all. My mind is just a racing universe of information, just waiting to give it away. So let me clean up this Albert Einstein-esque insanity here. The scribbles of insanity. So anyway, so we're in a bear market, okay? We're in a bear market. The daily sucks. This means that most of the time, your trades that are long aren't going to work out. Your short trades are going to pay more likely. They're going to pay out more likely. But that's why people didn't understand why this didn't continue. They all went short. They had the beautiful short flag. I even thought, I should have a short hedge there because it was my model again upside down. If you look at this flag and you flip it upside down, you see this flag here, and it was the 21 above the 200 in the flag, and there's your leg. We could have bounced, and something happened there. The Bears lost steam. Out of nowhere, the Bears just were unable to continue. They got a higher low on the Bulls. Somebody stepped in with a large amount of money here on chain. Something happened here. Supply shock. Maybe there was a low amount of Bitcoin. Something happened. And no one wants to talk about this. This should have continued down in a flush. And a dead cat bounce, I'll tell you what, usually goes up faster and then wrecks. It doesn't get wrecked in the middle and then reverse too. That's very odd for a dead cat bounce. That's actually strength. Because that means they tried to do a dead cat bounce, but something didn't go well there. There was another. So a buyer steps in here, and it looks like the same set of buyers stepped in here. That's what I see. And again, remember, you don't see every buy. It's not announced, but you'll gradually watch it. And exchanges are getting a low supply. No one's talking about this. Bitcoin is getting lower in supply. That halving's coming. In 2.5 years now, that halving's coming basically. 2 years. Less than 2 years, right? Yeah, less than 2 years. Right? Am I right? Yeah, because it's going to be 2028. No, okay, more than 2 years. 2.5 years. But still, that's not that long if you're a big boy and you look at time, it's not that long from now at all. Right? Bitcoin getting a nice little pump. We're going to see if we can also make a live trade here as we do the live technical analysis. Show me the charts here live on weeks, and I can see if I can put my action to work here and have some fun. Let me see the 1 minute. Let me get my 1 minute on. Okay. So we're approaching the 200 moving average yet again on the 1 minute time frame. I clear everything and we get ready. Had another great, amazing, you can see just always showing the P&L. Love showing it. Right? But we battled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight wins. And the wins, and again, there was more. Remember, we're still up. Then I took some L's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses in a row, you can see. But they were small. Some were 83. 2 big ones. 403, right? So it's dang. But a lot's 2 really small. 3 really small ones. 82 and 58, And then I came with the 4 strong wins in a row. Clearing out all those. That's easily $800. This was 1,100 right there. That's about 700, 1,700. Right? Because 6 and 5 is 11, the 4 and the 7, you almost about $1,800, right? So you can see the losses smaller than the wins, and so here you have 1,000. So there you have 1,300 in wins, another $1,800, and then $700 in losses. And then I did take 2 losses this morning with what happened, and that's kind of where I stand. But we're still doing very well from 13,000 up to 17,586. I'm going to continue to grow this thing, take it to 40K. Just one, little by little, one step at a time. So growing the account, showing you how to just trade light, and I do take losses. Losses are part of the game. If you're not losing any of your trades, you won't have a P&L. It's not called a P&P. I've never seen anyone say, I just win every trade. I've seen people claim to win every trade, but eventually they could go 100 straight, but they could be over leveraged, and if the market goes wrong, they could lose one trade that actually, I've seen guys go 100 straight. But the one trade they lose liquidates the entire account. So they're basically 99% accurate, but they're broke. You see what I mean? It's crazy. So there's a weird, I'd rather win 40 to 60% of my trades. Be a consistent trader than win massive amounts or just be so consistent, but then be very high leverage all the time. And it's about risk management. Today they got me. I'll explain how, they moved the price up and down twice. They made it kind of shady. But last night was nice. Last night we were up pretty huge as well. So and we took trades of $6,000. Yesterday was amazing. I think the idea for it will be wrong this time. I just go by the charts. Yeah, we don't have to think. The charts will teach us really what's going to happen and how it's going to play out. So the daily could be still in a bear flag, 100%. And this could be just kind of doing its thing, and we could end up down here at $66,000. If you can't get back above this key resistance right here where you bounced, you can see that is resistance on the daily. Then you get above that, though, and we get to move back up, even to 102, 111, and Heck, we could go to an all-time high. So right now, everyone's wondering, is this a dead cat bounce or is it a real move? And if you think about it, if you're the market makers or the move, you can't, if you have everyone right now in limbo, of course you're going to leave the price at like 92.2, 90, you know what I mean? You're not going to go up. If you go up too fast at 95.6, 95.5, you're going to have too many people get into the long and win. You can't have that. So you got to fake a move, wreck everybody down, then wreck a move down, fake a move up, and then kind of play with the price for a while, get everybody really antsy and emotional. You want to get people really emotional, right? If you can hover, when price hovers, it gets people like this. And they can't, and then they have to make a move, right? They can't handle it. They get into that sense of just like insanity. And they know how to do that to most people. They know how the markets work with psychology. Like they've probably studied it with a bot. They've taken and now they have AI. They know how you trade before you trade. They know what you're likely to do before you do it. It's insane, right? That's why when you trade the moving averages, you don't trade with the herd. You have a black and white system that they can't affect. It's almost like you're not a part of the matrix anymore because you're reading code in a different way, right? So let's take a look at the 12-hour time frame now, getting a bit overbought. Tweezers are topping, and this could be the top of a channel. You just want to be open-minded about these things and you want to stay with it. Now we're above the point of control. There's the 21. I get it. So you look at the daily. You're like, all right, everything's somewhat okay. You look at the 12-hour, but you don't want to tweezer top on the 12-hour. And that closes in 8 hours and 19 minutes. So we have some time to figure that out. The 10-hour in 4 hours. The 8-hour in 19 minutes will close at tweezer top. It's not the best sign, right? And look, resistance. A resistance can't seem to get back above that key level. Like 93, 90, 94K is like a no zone right now. So you kind of have you almost have a backwards Adam and Eve, which is strong. Lately, they've been making a little flag before they break out. They didn't always do that. In the last 2 years, I've been seeing a side flag almost every Adam and Eve I've seen. It's very odd, but it is what it is. It's weird. I've seen patterns change. Here's a pattern I've seen now in the last 2 years I never saw. They make a shoulder, they pop it really high, then they make the head, then they make a right shoulder. They still break it out, but they make this strange... I've been seeing this all the time now. I see it like a couple times a month. This here too, see how it's like a real big weird move inside of the head and shoulder? It's just weird. There it is there, but it displaced, I'm sure I could find it again, but it's weird. I'm seeing it, here it is kind of here, like they get a right shoulder, spike it up, right? They eventually plays out, but they make this spike price action on the left shoulder. I've been seeing it so much. It's interesting. I didn't see it for years, because I watch price action all the time. So I see anomalies. I see things that most people don't see because this is all I do. Kind of a weirdo. All right. I'm a bit of a strange bucket. All right. I sit in places most people would never sit and stare at price like a weirdo. You know what I mean? That's why when people get jealous of my lifestyle or what I do, it's like, well, I sacrificed my whole life, became a nerd. I stare at the screen a lot. And honestly, I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything because I'm just the scientific mind and I love the probabilities. The whole thing excites me. So the 4 hour, usually in bullishness, you'll pump up to the 200 moving average. But you can see when you're away from the 21 on the 4 hour, it tells me to be cautious. It tells me, okay, we had a nice move. So look, we've been pumping beautifully, like straight line pumping. And we called this, remember, we've been able to nail this long. And I love how I'm able to nail these longs. It's amazing. So now we look and we're like, okay, here we stand. So to me, it's just likely you're going to get a flag. If you're bullish, the 4 hour has to flag out here and come to the 21. You really don't want to lose this point of control. And it can also be a bit of an M. And this could end up being very bearish, right? And look at the measured move here. If that ends up playing out, it takes you to like $75,000. Okay. So what do you do? Well, what I do is I wait for my signals. I have certain signals that tell me what to do, and I listen to them, and I do whatever they tell me to do. Okay. Remember, keep the losses small. I have stop losses, right? So whenever basically I get into a jam or a trade's not right, I either cut it off under $300. That's kind of my, I don't like losing more than $300. I don't like it. That's like a threshold of mine. I'm like, unless I'm in a very big swing trade, like 4,000 for 8, it depends. And like I'm in some drawdown 2K, or I can take 2-3K a drawdown if I have to. If the levels are right, if everything, and I have the patience. I've been 5K in drawdown and I've still won 10,000. Like, it's been hard though. I started trading with size. So I started lev trading 3 years ago. 3.5, let's say 3.5, 4. I dabbled with it like 4.5, 5 years ago. Left it alone again, got back to swing trading. Altcoins were very lucrative. You could make a lot of money swing trading spot. A lot of people didn't know this, so they were heavy leving because it was just like, but there was no need of it. Like, there was just so much money to be made in altcoins. Like, there was 5Xs overnight, 2Xs, even in the last month and a half. There's been some ridiculous, right? Let's go over the last 3 months. MyX did like a $1 to $20. You know what I mean? Aster did that insane move from like 20 cents to $2. People were retired over Aster, right? Advantis even pumped that same weekend for massive gains. So, and again, I'm not saying they're sustainable projects to hold long term, but there's actionable events that produced massive gains on swing trades. You didn't have to leverage a piece of any of that. I didn't. I swung trade a lot of that stuff. Trump coin was a swing trade, sad to say, right? The rest of the market took a beat down, but at least try to get some loss back on the Trump pump. I mean, that was disastrous. I'm not going to say it isn't. I'm not trying to talk down or hurt anyone's feelings about it, but like, let's be honest, it was a black swan for the altcoins for the rest of my life. I'll stand behind that. I mean, that was the biggest liquidity grab I've ever seen in altcoins. They never recovered. A lot of altcoins are doing good. We were set up for 2025, and that was the first month of 2025. And next thing you know, every altcoin had the liquidity just taken up. Someone said SWE went up 30% yesterday. Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, so it just, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Right? Funny. Somebody said, let's go lifer. Sometimes the truth. I've been listening to Jim Rohn for a couple of days now, truly changing perspective on a lot of things. I don't know why I didn't start earlier. I heard you speak about him for months. It just takes everybody time to get into their position, man. And once you're there, you're there. You see what I'm saying? Once you're there, you're there. You nailed it, right? Yeah, and we're going to talk about the news too that came in, right? Thank you, Sammy and staff, for your continuous hard work and dedication. Thank you for saying that. That's very nice of you. Yeah, God bless. Someone says, so how come you got a negative 100% on one of your positions in your P&L? I'm curious. Because that's how much I put in the trade. I put in $300 and I lost $300. You see what I mean? Yeah, very simple. Like, there's nothing here to hide. Like, this is all legit. And honestly, it's still legit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 trades, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 losses out of 19 trades. I mean, that's amazing. So I'll take that. That's over 50% win rate. Like, that's insane. Most people could never collect a 50% win rate. Like, it'd be impossible for them. So I do what 95% of traders could never do in that P&L right there. And it's not even close to over yet. Sorry, I shouldn't even address this stuff, but you've been on the stream for a long time. So yeah, I was just asking a question to see if you really do put a stop loss on that position with 100%. That one may have been liquidated, but that would be a very small trade. You know what I mean? So I might get liquidated once a month or something, but it would be for $100 or $200, But I also probably not. Maybe there's a chance it was just very close to the. Yeah, you're right. That would have had to have been a liquidation, in my humble. Yeah, but a very small one. You know what I mean? I want to see if it should say it right there somewhere, right? It should say all closed, isolated, separated, and you see I trade isolated, separated all the time. Like, none of that cross leverage nonsense. Not for me. You do whatever makes you happy. All right. Still, all right. Someone said 50% win rate is even. No, he doesn't understand how to trade, man. Yeah. That's a great question. That's how you know that guy is very new to trading, right? That's a funny, when he asked that question, you're like, okay, this guy has no clue. He's got to learn a lot, but that's okay. I have no idea. I probably would have said the same thing when I started trading. So let's take a look at BTC in the long term. Let's get back into action here. So the 4-hour time frame needs to make a bit of a flag. And it would be nice if it can sideways flag, like if it can make a flag like this. It may not. There's some resistance here that it's attempting to hold, but it's tough, right? So we'll see here. That's weird. My plus sign disappeared. I guess I'll just snatch it there, but no. There it goes. No. Something happened weird with what's going on. But anyway, so the idea is this, though. Tight price action, right? Yeah, because it should be giving me my line with price action the whole time I'm on. Let me see. No, I don't want cross line. That's trend line. Yeah, that should be trend line. There we go. So here's the deal. Yeah, see, I like to cross because I want to see price wherever I'm at all the time. It's kind of like it goes with the flow, right? You want to always be on a candle. So the idea here is this. I mean, overbought stochastics RSI. Yeah, I was trying to say facts, saying I don't know how to trade when I've been with you for 2 years or more. All good, yeah. I was trying to say fact. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about someone else. Yeah, someone else asked me a question. See, people don't even know what I'm saying and they're getting confused. Yeah, I wasn't talking about you, man. Some guy asked, is 50% a good rate? Yeah, I wasn't, you weren't, sorry. Well, my mom used to say to me, yeah, I was just trying to say back, saying that I don't know how to trade when I've been with you for 2 years or more. Oh, good. Yeah, I wasn't talking about you, man. So sorry. I don't know why you thought we were mentioning you. Yeah, you're awesome. We love you. Have some self-esteem, man. Believe in yourself. Like, no one would talk about you like that, bro. You've been here for a long time. Yeah. You're awesome, bro. You're Barber Trader Joe, man. We've known you forever. Like, you're one of us, man. No one would ever disrespect you on this channel in any shape or form. Like, you've been on point. We love you, bro. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. You know how many people hate me for nothing? Like, people, I'll say something, they'll think I'm saying something about them, and they will write me a hate email when I never said a word about them. It's I can't tell you how much hate I've taken in my life on the show for no reason. For no reason. Just for being me, you know. But it is what it is. That's what happens when you're in the public eye. It is what it is. Let's get back into the action here. So, the 1 hour time frame. You know, attempting to dig in here in a bit of a flag. So, what are we looking at today? Well, we're looking at the fact that the 8 hour and the 12 hour could both close somewhat bearish and possibly come back down to the bottom here, or possibly at least, you know, come and test these key levels. So you're trying to see if maybe the smaller time frame could pick up the slack. Like, we might be able to see something in the charts. So what I'm looking for here, and again, it's a choppy day. You know, I wanted to see this flag continue throughout, but I mean, we had a really nice couple of days pump. So, you know, it almost looks like you're going to be making a head and shoulder here, doesn't it? You know, I kind of expect something like that, possibly. So yeah, it looks a little sketchy today, right? Low frequencies will always attempt to disrupt high frequency, 100%. Yeah. But it gets easier and easier to maneuver as you get, you know, as you gain higher frequency, right? You're just like, oh yeah, I got this. So look, I mean, if we're bullish, in my humble opinion, Bitcoin's going to bounce somewhat. So if we're bullish, Bitcoin will bounce here on the 1 hour. Which to me looks a little more unlikely, but hey, I don't know. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I draw projections and I take the ones that make the most sense. I basically draw out my dream trades, and when the price action fills out the dream trade, I take it. If it doesn't, I don't take the trade. It's really a great way to trade. You're like, all right, the best thing that will happen is that you get a move up here, you get an inverted head and shoulder. I mean, you're about to enter a golden cross here on the 1 hour time frame. Suggests that you will bounce. So in the next 6 hours, if I want a long, and I want to go hard on a long, like, because I want to make money, right? I don't want to just long something that's whatever. I want to long a high probability long. I don't want to just long a long. You know what I mean? Right? Like, I want to make a good long. And today's Wednesday, my favorite day to trade. Also Wednesday night, one of my favorite nights to trade. And you can see we woke up to gains Monday night. We woke up to gains Tuesday night. Like I told you, I trade Monday night and Tuesday night. I teach you not only how to trade, but when to trade. There's a reason why you trade certain times of day, certain times during the night, certain sessions. Do you know the London session? Do you know the Asian session? Do you know the New York session? Do you have any idea what I'm saying? If you do not, there's a good reason you're losing your trades because you're trading the wrong session. You're trading low volume, low probability. All right? I don't care how, I have very high probability setups that are great. They don't play out on low volume. You can have really good bait that catches the best fish, but you can go where there's no fish and it doesn't matter how good your bait is, right? You could have the best reels, the best strategies. You could know all there is to do about fishing. But if you just go where there's no fish, it doesn't matter, right? You got to be in the air of the action, or you got to know how to find the action too. As a trader, as a beginner trader, you're like a guy with a GPS looking for the fish. You don't even really know where to go. But if you join a trading group, we're already fishing in the best spots. You're sitting there with 1,000 people that are already teaching you where to fish. That's why trading groups enhance learning at a higher probability rate, because you're around more people doing the same thing that you want to do. That's a high frequency grab. So not only do you pay for information, but you pay for a frequency upgrade. When you join the 99 trading group, your frequency is upgraded. You're around a bunch of people doing the same thing you're doing. It's only going to enhance the fact that you're going to get better at it, right? I mean, let's join a fishing group, join a hunting group, join a grow, maybe there's organic grow groups. There's probably so many different groups out there nowadays. So many communities of so many different things. So if you want to join my trading group, we still offer some of the best, most affordable prices for a premium Discord in the game. I never take a day off. I'm here on the weekends, Christmas, New Year's Day, you name it. And I'm there for you, man. So jump on in, change your life, and, upgrade your frequency with someone that has already pushed themselves to the limit. Like, I'm here every day with high discipline. I can teach you how to do the same. What time frames do you recommend? I'm in Asia. I miss your calls because you send them at 5 a.m. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I send calls all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Fusaka upgrade today? I mean, I hope it works out, but I just it's good to build. It's good to build. Especially in the bearish times. People that build now are going to benefit from that, right? So, I mean, right now the 1 hour is battling a bearish close. You see, it's attempting to hold. Look, this is really the support zone right there where it's wicked off of. And then we go to the smaller time frames and we begin. So this is my day trading. As a day trader, I'm just looking for areas of strength for the bulls and areas of weakness. Right? Like right now, that's a symmetrical triangle. Technically breaks to the downside. Like that, to me, should technically dump. But it also kind of has an inverted head and shoulder in there. I see that. So, again, I used to get confused by patterns, and there used to be these dual action. That's why I started trading moving averages. Moving averages took away basically the confusion, the murkiness that came to sometimes pattern trading. Because sometimes, you'll see different things. What I do now is I look for patterns above the moving averages, patterns below. Like right now, we flip this. That's technically my model. I like to long that when the 21's above the 200, and we tend to get a move. And you can see, look, shoulder, head, right shoulder there, technically kind of head and shoulder dip down. So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin dips down to 91K here. And what I have to do is I don't have to be smart or right. If it breaks above the 200 and it makes a flag on a Wednesday, I will trade that. So if the 21 comes up on a Saturday morning, I might not trade that. You see what I mean? On a Sunday night, on a Monday morning. So there's times where I will take the trade and times when I will not take the trade, depending, right? Don't sleep and you'll catch all the calls. Wake up early, bro. I love this guy. Comparing fishing and trading was the best analogy of time frame trading I've heard from anyone. Thank you for your time. Hey, God bless you, man. No, but it's important because you can have all the right skills. You can be amazing. You can watch all my videos. You can get really good at trading. You can even have proper risk analysis, risk management. But if you consistently trade Saturday morning, like if you decide I'm going to trade Saturday and Saturday morning only, I mean, you're going to, the odds, I already know the odds are against you. I know when the odds are for and against you based on when you're trading without even knowing what you're doing. I don't even have to know your strategy. I don't care what signals or indicators you buy. It doesn't matter to me. I know when to trade and when not to trade. That alone can put you in the driver's seat. That alone can set you up to win. And that's why trading groups will enhance your experience, period. Subconsciously, you're going to pick up on things that you would have to go and research and find out. You would spend all this time regurgitating this information. Instead, it's coming to you because you're hanging out with the right people. Your conversation now isn't about sports or nonsense or gameplay. It's about where's that moving average? And then your mind is starting to spike. Now every night when you go to sleep or when you come home from work, you pop open that Discord and your mind starts to race. Now what you've paid for has stimulated you beyond belief. There's someone sharing another idea. Each night you progress. By the end of the month, you're a new person. 2 months later, you can't even believe the nomenclature you're using, which is, basically the wordage and the oversold, overbought. You're starting to see the market in a different way. You're starting to believe in yourself differently. You're around people that are changing their life. You're hearing stories. You're reading testimonials. Man, you're getting amped. Next thing you know, you're part of something bigger than yourself. And if you take it really seriously, like a real school, a real class, and you really go all the way like I did, my goodness, there's so many rewards on the other side of that rainbow, man. But you got to want it more than everybody else. You got to desire it. You got to push yourself. It's got to be your main thing. There can't be anything above it, right? You got God, you got your kids, you got your wife. I get it. But after that, it's got to be your goals. Where are you going? So for me, I'm not just selling a Discord. I'm selling a high frequency experience that I'm looking for you to remember for the rest of your life. Some people will hate on me. Some people will take it in wrong. Some people will join the group and they'll probably never get what I planned. But the people that connect me right now, if you hear my voice and you're fully on, you're like, wow, I'm locked in. Like I would go on a hike with this dude. I'd go camping with my family with this guy. My kids would hang out with his kids. I like this vibe. If that's your vibe, or if you're a woman out there and you could see hanging out with my wife, right? You'd be like, I could vibe with his family. I want to chill with the lifers. Then you would just, you'd love the group. What's your thoughts on Bob build? I saw Bob exploding for 800%. And I see it out of the corner of my eye here. I do want to take a look at what's happening there to Bob. So Bitcoin right now is in a bit of it could go either way situation, right? It's kind of a shoulder, hand, right shoulder. It's getting tight. It is below the 200 moving average. The key is we long this puppy. If it breaks the 200 on the 1 minute, we take some scalps. 5 minute is also below the 200, looking like a shoulder, head, and right shoulder. The 5 minute looks head and shouldery. 5 minute looks like it's got a shoulder here, a bit of a head, almost like give it some double shoulders there. But that looks bearish to me for a move down to 90,900, right? At work, installing gas piping and listening every day. Shout out to my man, Crypto Chris Tradesman. And that's why I show up every day, man. There's people that pop on their headphones and they wait for this podcast, this live stream, and they're excited to be a part of something, and they're excited to support. So I got to show up every day. It's important, right? It's a demanding lifestyle, but it's also amazing. I'll ride this journey as long as God will provide it for me. And I'll say thank you so much. I feel so blessed every day to be here with each and every one of you. And I'm thankful for every single moment that I get to spend with everybody here on the stream. It's truly a blessing. I thank you guys. At the end of the day, money comes and goes. Energy is amazing. People are amazing. Like I'd give it all up for just 10 minutes with my mom and dad again. But I will see them again with faith that God will bring us together in some other vibrational realm, some way, shape, or form. So look, this looks like it's going to come down to 90,009. I see some weakness here for BTC. And if it breaks above the 200, then I long. It's very simple stuff. So right now, I just kind of wait. And I've learned that I have the best win rate when I just trade my model. So you could say, why not short this? And if you see the short, and I used to short more. I used to long and short a lot more when I didn't have the model. Now the model pays better. And so like tonight, we might dump horribly. I've seen this many times. Like we could dump, they could just dump us all day. Blah, blah, blah. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, what will happen is we'll cross the 1 minute 200. Watch, I do this all the time. Like here, I'll wait. It happened the other day and I'll show it to you. And then we'll flag out, the 21 will cross, and then I'll trade it. And then boom, I'll make $1,000 and I'll be like, hey everyone, just made $1,000, and bang, it was over, right? If you want to jump on in, go to cryptolifer.com. Go to cryptolifer.com. And I'm honestly I'm selling a high frequency experience, not just a signals group. It's completely different than any other trading group you've ever been a part of. I fully believe that. Like I work out every morning. I listen to Jim Rohn every morning. It sets the tone for my day. I have a daily routine, a daily plan. I listen to multimillionaires and billionaires, and every single one of them says you got to have a daily plan. If you don't have a daily plan, then, and again, you want to become a good trader, you got to have a system. See, a lot of people don't have a system for life. There's no discipline in their regular life. They've just been going to a job, blah, 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 and they don't want to become a trader. Like, why am I not a good trader? It's like, well, you've got no systems in place for discipline. And what I love about Jim Rohn is he explained to me I was trying to change too hard, too fast. Like people never exercise. And like, I'm going to exercise an hour a day. They get it, the motivation lasts for like a week, 2 weeks. And then one day they stop, 2 days, 3 days. Next thing you know, a month goes by, they haven't worked out again. And they're right back to the same place. But what if they just said, tomorrow I'm going to wake up 5 minutes earlier than normal. And I'm going to do 5 minutes of push-ups. And for a week, they try that, 2 weeks. Then they say, then I'm going to add 10 minutes. 15. Within 6 months, they're working out 30 to 40 minutes every morning, right? And it's an achievable process. See, if you've already struggled to discipline, then don't put too much on your plate at first. It's got to be, a lot of people want to learn trading. So your first month, say, can I make $250? You know what I mean? Everyone get pissed when they end of the month. Nah, I didn't make any money. How about you start small? How about you see if you can actually make $200? You'd be surprised how hard that could be for a beginner trader. But if you but what if you did that 3 months straight? And now you're like, you know what? I didn't lose for 3 months. The first part of trading is not losing. It's so sad no one tells you that. But my first couple years as a day swing trader, whatever you want, I was using gold as trading. I lost money. I wasn't good at it. My emotions made me every time I saw red candles, you react to red in a way. It's how we react. It's how we're kind of trained. It's just how price action works. Sorry, I moved myself around here. Should shrink this down just a slight bit. Wish I could read the tickers and have it match up with the Crypto Lifer logo there. And I got to put myself kind of back in the corner a little bit. But so the idea is that, we chip away. Like me, you don't get to 100. I like using me as an example. I know me, Sam Price, but I have nothing else to solidly go on but what I've done. Right? I could talk about other people, but I don't know exactly their process. I know my process. I know how I got here. So I know I can help you with that same idea. So the idea is this, like, take me, like, it wasn't, I'm not an overnight, things going my way overnight. And still I have to fight every day. It's not going to keep going unless I keep going. Look, that's a head and shoulder pattern. I mean, I don't see how that doesn't dump. That looks bearish to me. Looks like we could get a nice little day trade to the downside here for BTC. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. You lost the 1 minute 200 moving average. Just want to make sure I'm not upside down. Sometimes I am, and then I'm like, wait. Yeah, that looks bearish to me. Looks like a pullback. And again, it's okay. The 4 hour looks like it needs to pull back. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So there we go, right? Step one of the process, forget the pants. No. Always wear pants. I got pants on, folks. Gray pants to match, like, the grayness going on here. All right. And I got my blockchain tie on with my Bitcoin. It's got Bitcoin. It's got a chart, you see, with a little wiggle sign. It's got a miner. It's got a wallet. It's got a little globe for like a network. It's got a bunch of cool stuff. It's got a ledger. It's got a key. It's got a lock. Funny little crypto tie. I don't know if you noticed. Who noticed the crypto tie? Who noticed? Who didn't notice the crypto tie? It's okay. Just admit it. I want to see what you're noticing, what you're not noticing. Anyway, so Bitcoin likely to take a move to the downside. You can say whatever you want. I'm talking, but I'm also giving you live commentary on the price action. And this is what we do here. If you're new to the channel, every day you're going to see me give a live trade, live prediction. Like, I'm basically calling this short right now for Bitcoin down to 90,008. We'll see what happens. And I may not be 100%. Maybe it rips up in my face. You never know. And if this reverses, gets above the 200 in the next hour, we're over here, you're going to see me take a long. And you're like, dang, man, this guy, right? We're blessed to have you, Sam. Thanks for being humble and amazing. Shout out to Jenny Uloa. I joined the Lifer recently. Best decision I ever had. I struggled for months, but now I'm finally learning and making profits. That's amazing to hear. May God bless you. Thank you. Yeah. Who's under the table? Nobody's under the table today. Thank God. Yeah. Sometimes my daughter sneaks in and she gets under there. Controlling my emotions is the hardest part of the trading for me. I revenge trade too much when I lose. You know, the next time you lose, you got to tell yourself you're going to go for a walk no matter what. Right? You know what I do? You got to do things like Jim Rohn says. Like, do you have shoes that you go outside and walk in? They're not too dirty, but maybe you could put a mat. But like I have this little area here. I would put the shoes right there. So when I finished the trade, I would see the shoes and that would tell me you got to go outside. So you got to separate yourself from your trading station for a little while so your emotions will calm down. Keep doing that as a habit and then you'll come back over time. Today, 2 of my trades didn't play out. I did not continue to trade. You see what I'm saying? I know that my model will play, will have a moment. It's okay. I don't have to just force it. Sam, I thought I was visiting him, but I was just asking a simple question in terms of what session he likes. Maybe he trades Asia too. No. Vetty Goat, I love you, man. I have no idea. I didn't think you were dissing me. I didn't think so. Yeah, I don't remember anyway, so. Yeah. But God bless you, Vetty Goat. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. You never know. You never know. So there you go, kind of slipping to the downside here of BTC. 92 lost, 92,000. Looks like we'll kind of flow down here. It's a head and shoulder pattern on the 1 minute. We're below the 200 moving average. Then you look for the 5 minute, which also lost the 200. Yeah, I mean, look at that. You can see the head and shoulder there. It's not just me, right? Pretty obvious that that's going down. So yeah, I see more downside for Bitcoin in the short term as we speak here. Headed down to 90,000, about 800 for BTC. And you say, why not short it right now, Sam? I could short it right now and make gains. I guess I could. You know, why not? But I'm also in other trades too that are still doing their thing. I got the gold, the silver. We'll see how this responds. The Tesla trade's starting to really rip, up 100% now. And the call at Tesla at 409 really playing out at 438. Right? Because the bot, the robots coming out, they're doing a lot. So they're going to pump in the AI. The AI bubble, Tesla will run on that. Come on now. So Tesla's an AI play right now, and I think the price is just too good to be true on the low. And if you have any upside for Bitcoin, it also kind of encompasses that, but it doesn't go down when Bitcoin dumps because it's decoupled. So I believe Tesla is a great kind of narrative to keep your hand a little bit to keep your hand in AI, to have a bit of diversity away from cryptocurrency because crypto has been very volatile recently. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just something I'm doing. You do whatever makes you happy. And I'm not saying I'm putting tons of money in there, but an allocation in there, in a very small amount of money, like just 200-300, like $400-500 could turn into 10 grand, 15 grand, right? If I play it the proper way. So thank you, Sam. Your strategy is very reliable. I'm struggling for so many times, but when I join your community, it helped me a lot. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate everyone that says these things. Yeah. Robo Taxi is going to be wild. It is, right? It's going to be awesome. Shout out to Christine Morales. We love you. Sam, what do you think about the BOJ bonds? They'll have to hike rates soon. Carry trade unwind again. Yes and no. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know where you get that information or who's regurgitating that information to you. I don't know. I wouldn't repeat that, right? But again, that's you. Maybe I'm wrong. But to me, the carry trade, to me, is unwinding, though. I did say that. And people could respond by buying more treasuries, which could come out of risk on assets. But that's also a speculative narrative. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, it could have been slightly priced in already, though, in the last dump. And the thing is, there's so much cash on the sidelines that may override that as well. There's just too much big money that's already out. And that money needs to go somewhere at one point. And, if they cut the rates and we get a risk on assets, so... And speaking of that, let's take a look. We were at 80%, 87. We're at 8.88 right now. Let's take a refresh and see if it's changed. 89. So it has popped up again. This continues to rise slightly. And what is this? This is basically the percentage that they will cut the rates in a week from today. On December 10th, we have a meeting, and I'll be live twice that day, as we always are, for Jerome Powell. I went with you on the first trigger this morning. It got stopped out, left it fall down, and got back in the bottom for a long, and sold at the market high for a win of 65. Lifers all the way. I love to hear that. Yeah, and today, wow, one of my signals did get stopped out. It is what it is. It's sad. I can't stand that. Right. Silver's hot. I'm in silver trade right now. You can see that silver trade up 17%, still ripping. Again, using very small amounts of money to make more. using 1,000, using 1,800, using $200. Tesla, I put $200 in to make 280. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, everyone's like, oh, you have tons of money. But this is small amounts to make big, that's a doubling the portfolio. That's a doubling of the portfolio. I mean, imagine if I put 100 grand in there, I would have made 100 grand. Again, I'm not that risky. And this can turn into, I'm just looking to make a return. And I like Tesla long-term, honestly. And I like it right now with the AI bubble. So how much should I have to try to make 200 profit in a month? I want to take this as a challenge. I don't know. It depends on you, man. It really depends on you. You got to kind of watch, figure out where you're going to sit in the risk calculation. And you got to find your risk. Nice little bounce back up there for Bitcoin off that area, but now it may just bearishly retest, the bottom of this trend now. And you can see a lot of choppiness for Bitcoin right now, really trying to find its way. To me, I would kind of zoom out and stick to that 4 hour. Let's whenever I do this too, what I like to do is I find another chart that I just, I like the Bybit spot chart. And I make sure it's super clean. I look at just like the time frame I'm really focused on. And I just really sit and I say, this is the, I like what we're doing because we're tightening up. The moving averages are getting tight. When that happens, we tend to pump up to that 200, but we can also get sunned by it. Meaning like we could hit it and that might be the end of the, So very much could be bear flagging like I showed you. In for a very further, a move down here to 87,000. So just a higher, a little bit of a move to get everybody excited. And then we come down pretty strong to the downside. So anything is possible. Anything. But you have to assume right now you are in a bear market. You're below the daily 200 moving average. You're below the 4 hour 200. The odds are more likely that this will bear flag and continue down. The odds are in your favor if you're bearish, period. That's it. There's nothing else to say. $72,000 target, right? So am I opening up a short? Not yet. And some people might still be short. You could still be short for my call at 1077 despite all these little awesome bullish calls, right? So today, like in my mind, for the bulls to survive, yeah, the 4 hour just has to make a flag and not, and stay above some key levels. Like the 4 hour is going to have to stay above 88.6, preferably above that point of control right there. So the second the 4 hour closes a candle below this red line and we're here, to me, it's just very likely you're going to come somewhere down to 85, 87K. That's really going to be the definitive moment today. 92, basically being stress tested right now on the 4 hour time frame, and you have this level here too right before the POC with where the shoulders had resistance that could give you a possible blanket of bouncing here to get us on to the next move. So for me, my strategy is telling me that my edge is pulled back. I shouldn't be going hard anymore. My edge was there, and I nailed it. Last night was the high at 93.89. Really, that was the high to sell. And remember not to get greedy. We tend to get greedy and these moves happen. I do. Like I make 5,000, 6,000, then I'm up 3,000 and it's not enough. And it happens very fast. And you have to remind yourself, okay, that's why we come back to gratitude. That's why I come back to these small wins. Because people say, if you're worth millions of dollars, why the hell are you trading $200? And to me, it's because it reminds me of where I came from. It reminds me not to be over risk. And if all of these trades turn into 10 to 20 grand, so be it. That would be awesome. And I don't have to risk tons of money. I can risk $2,200 to make 20 grand. Why? You know what I mean? If I have the knowledge and the skill, why not I rely on the skill? It's just like someone who's really good at real estate. They figure out ways not to use their own money. You know what I'm saying? When you're good at money, you use less money to make more money. You don't use more money to lose more money. You see what I'm saying? You find ways to be more and more efficient. So to me, I'm even more efficient with $200 than I ever was. Now that I have more money, I'm more efficient with less money. Isn't that weird? But that's how it worked, because that's how I figured out how to get more money, by being efficient with small amounts of money. I said, God, thank you for what I had when I was making $475 a week with no health insurance. Then I was making $1,200 a week with no health insurance. Next thing you know, I was making $1,800 a month with health insurance included that I didn't have to pay for inside of the $1,800. You know, by the end, I started my career as a loader. I joined a night shift one day after a bunch of other business things blew up in my face. I was like 28-7 or 26 or something. And I joined a night shift. And they, even after going to college and having a degree, you know, they gave me $175 a night. They called me a loader. $175 a night, right? That was my first job. No health insurance. Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 in the morning. $175 times 8. Wait, 175. Yeah, times 5. Yeah, so I made $875 times 4. Right? My rent was $600. I was living with my sisters. All right? So whatever, right? I mean, and right? It's just crazy. And so I, you know, after taxes, dang, man, I must have taken, yeah, and they taxed my $875, which is crazy, right? I probably took home like $600, I think I got like $620 or something. Yeah, so I was making, and again, some people think that's a lot of money. In New York City, it was wow, right? So, and my rent was $600, right? Then I had to pay for like $175 for a monthly bus pass or something. And then you had to buy like, I don't know, $400 to $600 worth of food, depending. And then if you went out with a friend or did something, or, you know, and if you had any expense that happened, like out of nowhere, you know, and so I needed to have some other way of making money on the side, you know, it's just like, dang. So, yeah, on average, how much does people make trading per day? I make on average around 1,800 using no leverage, and I don't think that was a lot. I don't know how you do that. That's very good to me. Yeah, I don't think I could make 1,800 a day without, I could do it without leverage in a good market. In a tough market, I need the leverage because I basically trade Bitcoin. You know, I don't like to trade altcoins too crazily. But anyway, so I'm just showing you, this was me at like 27 years old. Like, a lot of you people are probably doing better than me here already, and you might be 22 years old. So it wasn't always easy for me. I struggled my whole life. And even with this, you know, I started to buy Bitcoin. I'd put away $300 a month if I had to, you know, of this 11, whatever I had, I was able to always buy something I could invest in. No matter how much I made, I always had a little bit of an investment going. It started small. And look what happened over time. So $5 on average, I believe. Slow is fast, fast is slow. Hey, the fastest way to do something is the slow way, right? They always say that. So yeah, to me, it looks like Bitcoin's struggling a little bit. And I see what looks to me like a complex head and shoulder, like kind of like shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. It just looks head and shouldery to me. Rolling over. I could be wrong, and I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for Bitcoin to break back above the 200 on the 1 minute, and I'd love to go long today and take my model. So, but right now, I just see more downside. Until we can break above the 200 moving average, I do not see any more upside for BTC at the present moment in time. All right. So I would wait now on the 4-hour time frame, and it's going to do one of two things. It's going to come down viciously to the 21, or it's going to hang out and make a flag. Both are somewhat viable. This would be a cup and handle, but it also could come all the way back down to the bottom of the channel. You see? So that's what you kind of... This sideways price action would basically let us know we don't have to stress. It would be very likely. So if basically in 12 to 20 hours, somehow you're just over here, I mean, that's going to be a beautiful long. Could it pump out of nowhere? Yes. Could it dump out of nowhere? Of course. But the odds are likely it's going to go one of these two ways. This is the 80% chance it's going to go this way or that way. And I know you're like, what does that do for me, Sam? Like, you don't know which way it's going. We don't have to know which ways it's going. We just have to know how to trade the structure that it plays out into. For instance, if it takes this one, it might be a beautiful cup and handle and break to the upside out this nice gap. Again, we'll know because the 1 minute will open up above the 200, the 5 minute will open up, and then the 15 will be in a flag, and the smaller time frames will provide us the possible entry. If you stick with me, I'm going to teach you how to use the small time frames to blend into the bigger ones, the bigger into the small. We're going to have a blast together. This information, this journey we're on is going to be amazing. You're going to look back on the time you spent with me and really, really, really remember it as some of the best times of your life. I know it. I know it. Because I know it's some of the best times in my life teaching. And I feel great. You guys propel the energy, and the show just continues to move. So I'm excited to be here every day. I thank God for the opportunity provided for me. And I know it's a blessing. I get to work from home. I used to have a boss yelling at me. I used to work a night shift 8 hours a day. I know the struggles. I know the pain. I had nobody to call. You know, there was no one that was going to hand it to me. It was about me and my grind my whole life. Like, and it just, you know, and you could either fall back with everyone else and go to the wayside and work in that 9 to 5 and become, you know, or you can rise above it with discipline and focus and just the vigor that most people just give up on life and they let life take them by. You got to have a plan, or else you're part of someone else's plan. Remember that. Repeat that to yourself every day. What is your plan? What's your plan? Do you have any goals? What's your plan? I want to be rich. Write down. No, I want to make 200 grand by the end of next year. You got to write down your real goals. You got to make them real. You're a ship right now out at sea. You have to have an actual destination. If you don't have a destination, it's very unlikely you're going to get there, friends. You're going to float around in the ocean until someone else decides to take you where they're going, right? So, like, look, that looks like a descending triangle now to me. And we're in chop. You never know what could happen. Look, 1, 2, 3, kind of a nice bottom, though. Hey, if we cross this 200 moving average on the 1 minute, I am going to long. So Bitcoin's sitting at 92,000, which is really strong. Remember where we started earlier this week with the massive dump Sunday night. This is crazy. It's Wednesday. We've been through so much emotionally. I mean, you don't let the emotions get to you, but come on. Even if they don't get to you, you can't say you didn't go on a roller coaster ride. We were up. Everyone felt it was amazing. We were all the way back down. Then we're back up again in the span of 36 hours. That's nuts. The volatility for cryptocurrency. And again, you have to ask yourself, man, look at all the opportunities. Look at all the trades I could make. Look at all my signal plays out over and over again in times like this. That's a blessing. 5 second actually is showing the model. Let's see if the model plays out on the 5 second time frame. I love this stuff. But I mean, I trade this all the time on the 1 minute. I'll trade this if I saw this on the 15, I would long. So it tells me to long right now with a stop below the 200 moving average. Let's hypothetically look at what would happen on the 5 second chart. I would never trade. I've traded the 1 second, but it's very rare. For me, no. I like my P&L. You know what I mean? And to me, the 1 minute and the 5 minute is enough. I don't need to be going, I'll do it for fun. We play around with it, but I don't know it enough, right? I'd have to sit here for 2 years on the 5 second to get the information that I have on the 1 minute and the 5. I've given the 1 minute and the 5 like 6 years of my life. I know them so well. Look at how it bounced off the trend line like it was supposed to, though. This stuff is magical. Technically, that should play out. I want to trade the 5 second. Look, so we would have entered there 92,179. And we're trying to get out of 92.8. Or attempting to get out of 92. This is trading the 5 second using my model. Someone taking that trade real time. Is that a decenter of the 5 minute time frame? It looks like one on the bigger, on like the, yes, I think I just said that on the live. Yes, it looks like a descending triangle to me. Flip it upside down. I mean, doesn't it look like an ascending triangle? So yes. Again, it is a 50% pattern. It could go either way. Doesn't mean it's going to dump for sure. 90% of the time, this thing takes a massive dump, though. You once could make a decent living off eBay. Unfortunately, quarterly expectations took all the profits from selling anything on that site. Really? Yeah, I know someone that makes a living selling on eBay still. Yeah. If you have a running business and it's organized, I'm sure it's still profitable. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're saying, but you might know more than me. I don't know. So here we're watching the 5 second. I mean, it's the model. I just want to see if the model plays out in the 5 second. It should play it on every time frame. If I was going to trade the 5 second, it would be Wednesday morning, Tuesday morning. The only 2 days. Like, I'd have to have the best volume. I'll be extra risky when the volume's high. I'll be low risk when the volume's low. It makes sense. You don't want to put yourself on the chopping block for no reason, right? Isn't the weekly forming a hidden bullish divergence? Yes, we've talked about that too as well. 100%. The market playing with my heart more than my ex-girlfriend. You're funny. I'm so bullish on Bitcoin this month. So difficult to press the short button. Great TA as always. Sammy, yeah, you're funny. Isn't the... Yeah. Blessings from Portugal to all the crypto lifers. Shout out to Ricardo. Magalhaes, right? Shorts, Pippin. I don't know what that means. Pippin? It's a 50-50 either way. I don't mean this has a good probability of playing out. But this should pump. I mean, I've backtested this for years. Look, that's beautiful. Can you see it on the 1 minute? Can you see the flag there? You can kind of see the flag there. See how the 21's curving? That's usually a good sign you could get a move up. Again, we're watching the 5-second chart just for some clarification here. I know you're like, how is that possible? But because we're touching the 21 above the 200 and we've consolidated into a tight flag. That I don't care what time frame you're on. That's usually pretty bullish. But we'll see. I don't like trading the 5 seconds, so it could be very, obviously too volatile. And the U.S. having skills could make you 25 to 40 hours an hour. Having a talent, 40 to 80 an hour. Having skills and talent can make you 90 to 185 an hour. Amazing. Yeah. I'm calling it. 5 second will hit. Jay Will calls it. I mean, as he said it, it starts to pump beautifully. So this man is like a psychic. Everyone, Jay Will. I was going to wait for the 200 MA, but risk for the biscuit. Thanks for your fantastic tea as always. Keep up the great work, sir. Thank you, man. That's very nice of you to say. I can't believe you guys are that nice to me. 90K during the next move up would be amazing. I took the 21 MA on the 1 minute. So you took the 21. That's interesting. Yeah, the cross of the 21. I tend not to do that, but you know what? It's possible. And look, it's playing out as we just talked about. See that big pump? We just kind of went over this, see? Back to the 200 moving average. And see, look how I'm not shorting right now. Look how the small time frames are teaching me what to do. I just have to listen. And I can miss the move on the 1 minute, and I can get in on the 5. If the 5 minute now breaks the 200 moving average later on, watch this. It'll cross, the 21 will come up, and then I'll have another opportunity to get into the trade. No stress. No need for the stress. Just absolutely loveliness. You know what I mean? Just absolute loveliness. And then you got a resistance up there at 93.5. So, hey, send it back to 93, baby. We want 93, and we want it now. And again, look how much work we did today. We did a lot of TA today, right? Look, we're grinding through multiple time frames, looking at moving averages, support and resistance, making patterns. Like this is a channel where you don't get pre-fed, pre-recorded TA. You get TA as it happens in real time. That's the difference between this channel and every other channel you'll ever watch. It actually, like, we formulate our plan with you so you can understand how a trader actually trades. See, this was missing. My mentor was amazing, but he did pre-recorded videos and he ran a Discord, and it was awesome. And he never showed one of his trades. No offense, I'm just, I never knew what he did. That's fine. I don't have to know. And honestly, I never knew. I saw him buy a Lamborghini. I knew he was making gains, but I never had to see one of his trades to learn from him. He never showed me a P&L. He never shared his portfolio with me. He didn't. But you know what? I became an amazing trader with his knowledge and his ability to show me how to become consistent. He showed me how to become a consistent trader over time. See, look how I'm using the 5 minute to kind of constantly move my mind. This is how you become like a very versatile trader. Like in seconds, I can see something different than and I can just keep moving. When someone else, I can pivot very fast because I've been using small time frames for a long time. They've changed the neuroplasticity of my mind. I want you to see this too. I want you to understand this. So remember, my mentor never showed me his portfolio once. He never did any of the things that I do for everyone in my trading group. And I'm not trying to compare. I'm just telling you the truth. I never knew how much money he had. I never saw any of that. He taught me how to trade. He taught me beautiful, indicators. He taught me how to show up every day. He taught me how to be consistent. More than anything, the consistency is what he gave me. I always told him that. He has since passed away. May God rest his soul. It burdens my heart every time I think about it. The man was a multimillionaire. Came from humble beginnings. Was like a carpenter and, like a manager at like an Outback Steakhouse kind of, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that's a bad job. I'm just saying that's what he did. When I knew him, he was making like $400K a month. The guy was balling out of control, man. And grinding and working his butt off every single day without a day off for years. All right. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. And again, I think he overstressed himself, and I think that led to, an untimely leaving on this earth, which is so sad. But I carry the torch for him every day. Every day that you hear my voice is because, I joined his group and became amazing. So may God carry the torch for him, without, I would never be here. I would never be here. What's crazy too is, someone I knew watched him for years and then started watching me. And they didn't know that me and him were connected over time, And that person ended up becoming a good friend of mine. His wife ended up hanging out with my kids. So it's just been an amazing experience. Look, this 5-second trade played out beautifully. Did anyone have the guts to take the 5-second trade? Put a 3-3-3 if you took this trade. I mean, the odds were high. I backtested this stuff for years. It should happen on any time frame we put it on. I just wanted to show you the insanity of it. My YouTube recap, 590 videos watched, number 1 in my 2025 recap. Much love. Shout out to Cherry City Bullies. We love you, man. Thank you. UPS is great, money is good, but I had zero time for my wife, so it caused a divorce. So it's the toughest time of my life. Thank you, and God bless for this channel. I mean, why would she divorce you when you're working hard? You know what I mean? You were doing everything you could, right? I mean, as long as you were doing everything you could, but whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But dang, man, so many men struggle with that. They want all of us, but then they want all of the money, but then they want us to be successful. But then when we give too much of our job, they say we're not home enough. But then when we give too much of our, I took care of that by working from home. And you got to spend time with the kids. You got to put the phone away. Even me, I tell myself that all the time. Sammy Lifer, you're my idol. You're my idol for making me your idol. God bless. Nah, I don't want to be an idol. I think you mean mentor. Yeah. So look at that. I mean, I wouldn't be greedy. If I got in the 5-second at 92.19 and I got up to 9, I'd think about jumping out. But this thing looks like it's going to head all the way to the profit area at 92.944. Wow, nice bounce for BTC. Strong. Truth is, nobody has the balls to do what you do on the channel. It takes confidence, humility, and incredible knowledge. That's why nobody live trades like yourself, Sam. God bless your mentor too, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. That's very nice of you. Yeah, and long live anybody that's ever helped me and supported me. And it pains me to know that he passed, man. Yeah. Wow, look at this. So who gives a live trade on the 5-second chart using a model that I've backtested for years and regurgitated over and over again for months, for days, for years? From here to Singapore, Dubai, Lisbon, Miami, Las Vegas, Massachusetts, you name it. We took the stream all around the globe this year. Never missed a day, continued to pump. Let's take a look at the altcoins and see what's happening now as Bitcoin is getting a grip here. And now you want to see, can it break above the 30-second 200 moving average? You see, so now what you do is you can erase all this. And look, there was the pump there in the 1 minute that did play out. That was our flag. And you can see I get into flags. People say, TA doesn't work. You could take away all this stuff and just trade the pattern. You could have not known anything about moving averages, and that pattern played out. And look, they made a shoulder, head, and a right shoulder, which got a bunch of people to short, and that's the squeeze, see? So they had the head and shoulder there. But look, I knew how to trade a model in the 5-second that caught everybody off guard. And that's what you got to do. You got to be in pockets. Like, no, the market maker's not like, we're going to get all that retail that traded that 5-second flag. You know what I mean? No one's doing that. Like, that's rare. What you're watching right now is extremely rare. You're seeing a skill and a strategy that has never been really let out before. Like, I don't pump this around the world. I have never pre-recorded it and sold it as a class. This is the class every single day. This is the knowledge that I teach every single day. And yes, I like to boast on it because it's amazing when you backtest a strategy and it works like this to the point where you can see it play out over time in front of the world. Amazing. I wish I had taken the long, but it's okay. Yes. Just hit the light switch. Have your own light sitting working without the partner. I don't know what that means. $30 in the pocket. This is a perfect example of scalping. Thank you, Sam. Now let me think about shorting because of the bigger time frames. Just pushing every day and putting everything in God's hands. I wish I had the answers. And here, honestly, submitting to God. Going every day in the present moment. Not letting anxiety get to you. When you get anxiety, you're starting getting negative thoughts. Go for a walk, take a deep breath, and get into the present moment. Tell yourself that your thoughts create your life and you need to change what you're thinking. Tell yourself you're amazing, that you're working through it, and that you're going to be the best version of yourself every day. And if you made a mistake today, you missed your workout, and didn't say, well, you know what? I'm going to start again tomorrow with the best foot forward. Don't beat yourself up at what you didn't do, right? And look, that was just a scalp of the small time frames. I like what he said, It doesn't mean we're home free, And remember, I'm not live trading right now. I was in a live trade Monday night, Tuesday, all day, all throughout Tuesday night. My mind has been under heavy stress. You don't realize, my trades are 100,000, these are big trades. So my mind's under heavy stress. And I want to show wins to the world. The public is watching me. My trades are heavy stress because the public is watching me. No, I try to tell I don't care. I'm just being honest. So, and as I work through it, it's a good example of how any trader can work through it. So that's why some days, it's good not to trade every single, it's good to take a moment off, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours during the day. Let the market come to you. Watch the market. Even with what I do, I get that angst to be in a trade a lot, and I always have to calm it down. The market will have its effects on you. This 1 hour still looks like it could end up playing out. It's very oversold in the stochastics. You could almost say that it defied the bearish div there with the previous support as resistance. Very strong level of support here. If 92.5 can hold, right? And so to me, it's really, wow, that's a nice tweezer bottom on the 4 hour. If that can hold today. So again, it goes back to telling me that my next big trade is not right now. It's gonna take some time. Unless I'm scalping the smaller time frames. And again, we could still be making the downward flag, right? Yeah, my long-term strategy and system is telling me to hold off, wait for the 4 hour to present a better entry. We're just a little too far for the 21 on the 4 hour time frame, and it's unlikely what we could do though is get this little move today. Bing bong, right? And that's gonna be a nice little scalp arena. Back up to 93.2, but it's only a $700 move. It's not like we got. See, when you're on a low and you call a bottom, there's going to be elasticity, meaning a nice move up with nice movement here. But now we're you're just going to get that, so the longs have less potential for now. Now, if you end up down here, that's going to be another one with a big leg. And that's the leg. The leg is this length here. From this wick to that wick, that is your next length. So if we do start a rally, it says you go to 103. 103.5. It'd be awesome. So let this 4 hour play out. If this 4 hour turns into a beautiful flag, and again, it could make a beautiful flag and then Bart Simpson in our face. Anything is possible. Remember that. You just got to be open-minded. Like this morning, I waited all night, everything was going, and then in literally seconds, they took a candle down thousands of dollars. In seconds. It was insanity. Sure. When you stay disciplined, the future you desire already exists. You just need to catch up. Napoleon Hill, 100%. And you basically present the future to your mind as if it already happened. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. When I moved into this house in Florida, the first house, I eventually bought a house and moved from the rental, but I rented a house first, and it had this beautiful waterfall, island in the kitchen. And I could see the waterfall went in a little bit, and there was a lip. And I saw myself bending over to get my kid toy and coming up and hitting my head on the lip because the realtors were not getting back to us in time. Then there was questions and we were waiting and it looked like we may not get it. And I was like, man, I really want this house. I'm kind of done. I don't want to look anymore. I want to move to Florida. I want to call it a day. And we blindly rented. Like, we basically looked at homes online and just moved to Florida. Like, we had been to Sarasota 8 or 9 times before, and we knew, but we didn't know really where we were moving, and we had never made the drive. We didn't understand the neighborhood. We didn't know. We just made a move. We knew that the channel and the business were the most important, and that everything else would fall into place. And me and my wife knew together we could make it happen, and we just trusted in ourselves, and we did it together, you know? I like this 21 coming above the 200 here on the 1 minute. I might be able to scalp this here for a little scalpalina. I'd like it to come back down for us, but it may not. It's looking pretty bullish. High risk, high reward though too. Let's see how it's pushing up. Dang. It's giving me a bit of FOMO. 93,359. Remember, FOMO is fear of missing out. It is fear. It's emotion. When you're using FOMO to trade, you're using fear. Remember that. You don't want to trade in fear. It doesn't work too well. Tough trade. It's not hot. I almost got to move this. Yeah, I want to see this come down a little bit. Let's see the 21 come in conjunction with price. Let me take a deep breath and wait for my model. This is when patience really... Having lack of patience is the difference between a guy with a positive P&L. So the trader that gets in right here, gets emotional, watches it drop, and then sells. Or the trader that slowly watches this play out, waits the 10 minutes, and casually gets in with calmness. The old me would just... now I'm always waiting, and if I miss it, I miss it. The have-to trader is the guy who loses a lot. I have to get in. It has to be this way. Right now. No, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't go perfectly. Maybe it's not exactly what we want. Maybe we have to wait. Okay. Take the trades that come to you. Stay calm. Right now, I want to force the trade. I got to stay calm. Look, the whole probability changes if I buy here or there on a 1 minute trade. It's so crazy. Like buying here or here is a big difference. And I really should buy when the 21 touches price action. Like, if I go a little earlier than that, I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I want to see this white line cross the yellow line. I want to see the price action come into conjunction. What I can do is get the trade ready, which is awesome. So I know my stop loss is going to be 92,403 now if I do take the trade. That's 100 for 465. That's a beautiful trade. Now we're looking at a 4-1. Now things are starting to kind of be a lot better. See, up here, we made the trade up there in Chase. It's a 2-1. Down here, it's now, the probabilities are double now. A 4-1 trade is way better than a 2-1 trade, I'll tell you that. And trading near, you want to be near the 200 moving average. That's why I like this entry right here, even though the 21 didn't cross just yet. Might be the lowest entry possible if we kind of go sideways again. And this is setting up for the model that we just saw in the 5. This just played out in the 5-second chart. Understand? Now we're watching the same exact thing on the 1 minute chart. Remember, high risk. You can lose a lot of money doing this. What I'm doing is high risk. You have to know what you're doing. I make it look very simple and easy. I've been doing it for a long time. And look, I only have to risk 135. I do this, if I hit 3 of those trades that day, if I did this 10 times today and I lose 7 of them, I'll lose 7 times 135, right? Which is about 210, 245, $1,245. But if I win this 3 times, it's basically, I guess it would be, if you lose that 7 times 210, yes, $945. But if you win it 3 times, that's $1,200. You see what I mean? I'm just saying, you'd still make $300 that day if you lost 7 out of 10 trades. That's what when the guy said you're only 50%, I don't get it. I was like, oh gosh, here we go, right? I'm really starting to like this now as the 21 crosses. My system tells me to wait for the white line to touch the price action. This could dump in 2 seconds and go all the way down. A lot of people use my system, but they can't wait for the right strategy. So they'll get in right now and say, oh, his system sucks. It's like, but you didn't trade it. You didn't precisely wait for the entry. You jumped the gun. Now it's a 7-1 if we get in here. Now this might lose the 200, and this might be an M pattern that takes you down. And see, I'm just testing to see if this is a real move. All right. See, look at that. We compare 15 tiers of buy and sell orders in the order book every minute to provide a reference for order placement. really the best liquidity in the game. Like if you're a whale trading big liquidity, Weeks make sure that slippage is nil. They're going to go out of their way to make sure you have a proper trade, man. I was on these spaces with Weeks today, and look, losing the 200 is bearish. Like, that's no good. That's why I've learned to wait for price action to touch the 21 above the 200. Inside the flag, like the flag, you know, and again, we might be making an inverted head and shoulder here. We could easily bounce. The crazy thing is if I waited patiently and it does end up bouncing and it makes the right shoulder and it's just amazing, right? And then I get rewarded for the patience instead of getting rewarded for for being emotional. And now what I know too is I don't have to when I make a trade and I put in the supporter, the stop loss, and I set up the trade, that doesn't mean I'm taking the trade, even to me. That means I'm starting to see. That's very similar to real estate. And when I go to look at real estate, I'm not buying every piece I look at. I'm just going to look at it, but I'm not gonna buy it unless I go to look at it. So just like every trade, I need to see the trade, just like I need to see a piece of real estate. Show me the risk, show me the parameters, show me where we're at. Let me see the possibilities. Okay. Now that I know everything about the trade, I can decide whether I want to take that trade or not. Doesn't mean I'm taking it. It means I'm looking at everything the trade offers. I might not like the offer, right? I might not like what I see. I might go visit a property and there's just something about it that I didn't see in the pictures. I might see something in the trade that I didn't recognize. I like this possible inverted head and shoulder. I'm onto it. I'm close. That's a very high risk entry right there. If I enter right there, it's against my system. My system tells me if I enter right there and get stopped out, I'm supposed to. You know? So I don't do that. I only do what my system tells me to do. And I wait for just like a bot, I wait for it to tell me what to do. If I don't see it, I don't do it. Very simple. I have no idea what you're saying. I don't know. Yeah. What lever do you use? If you use any, it hides behind your QR promo on the top left. 47X. Yeah. Right now it's at 47. I like it now. Now we're touching the 21 above the 200. Now it says I could possibly begin to think of entry. You see? Now, it's still high risk if I enter now. It's lower risk if I wait for the shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder to be formed. Now, yes, I'll get a not as good of a price. What I started doing is learning that structure is better than price. And I said it yesterday. I used to work, I have to get in at 92.3. That's better than 92.5. Now I'm like, no, I'll take 92.575 as long as it's a right shoulder. So I'd rather pay more for price and better structure than less for price and riskier structure. See, it's more about what I'm seeing on the charts than seeing on the number. The number is a side detail, right? It's not the full information. The information is that right. Show me the right shoulder. Again, if I enter right now, I like the entry right now as a high risk entry. Sad things, look what it did. It took that from a 7-to-1 trade to a 3-to-1. We'd have to raise the stop a little bit now, a little closer than it was before. Now the stop is at 92.362. Now we're touching the 21 above the 200. Now it says I could make the trade. Still very high risk trade, as it's been a volatile morning. Seems to feel like a Monday now, right? The up and down price action, a lot of volatility, liquidations this morning. It just, great teachings. I used to go in a lot before. Who had a great time learning today? Who learned more than they knew before on the stream today? Did we accomplish our goals of teaching the masses today? Put a 333 if you learned more, whether it was about mental clarity, whether it was about organizing your thoughts, maybe it was an entrepreneurial idea, maybe it was about energy, maybe it was about just proper risk management, maybe you saw something in the moving averages. Who here learned more today? Put a 333 if you learned something today. I want to know if we achieved our goal of teaching. That's our main goal. Everything else is a side hustle. A lot of 333s coming out there. Thank you so much for everybody that puts their best foot forward and wants to learn. I want to be around people that love knowledge and that want to push themselves. I don't want to be around mediocre people that don't want to continue to grind. If you're a progressive person that wants to learn, I want to be around you. If you love life, I want to be around you. If you push yourself with vibrance, vitality, and you just, you want to make a positive influence on the world, I love you. You're my type of person. Keep coming back, keep showing up, because you're going to help my community in a major way. I can't grow without seeds, right? We can't make this field full of fruit if we don't have tons of people planting positive seeds, right? So each and every one of you create this entire movement and this community. It's one at a time. I started with 3 people watching me, I remember, maybe even 2. I was the first subscriber to the channel, and we started to grow. Shout out to 100,000 subscribers. 2025 was a great year. May 2026 be another beautiful year. May God bless 2026. May the Lifer community continue to grow and develop and expand. May all the things, tools, tips, and strategies, and the things that we actually are using, and we're putting a lot of money back into the company too as well. May everything go our way in 2026, and may we help as many people and more than we helped in 2025. Look at this, and dear Lord, thank you. May we live by, and that's a head and shoulder. That's cooked, baby. Right? And you can see, look, I'm waiting. I know when not to trade. I never got the signal. It was never clean. It wasn't as clean as the 5 second. The 5 second, that was beautiful. I wanted to see the 5 second. Like, I wanted to see the flag, the tightness, the 21, boom. We didn't get that. Doesn't mean we can't bounce again. We might make another one. We might do it here. I don't know what's going to happen. By being open-minded, I can blend to price action. I can find out what I need to as it happens. All right? Remember, at the end of the day, you got to have a big picture strategy. The big picture is the 4 hours, likely going to make some type of flag. Either further down. It's almost likely it goes down because it's so far from the 21. That doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean we're going to dump. It just means, hey, look, there's a high, there's a higher low, there's a higher high. We need to put in the higher low. That's all. That's how strategy works. That's how trend works. You taught me a lot about being patient. Is the quality I've learned from you over time. Love the show. God bless you. Thank you. Ethereum looks like it's going to have a big day. Super chats. Ake. Oh, see, I thought someone asked about Cake yesterday. But you asked about Ake, Aikido. Let's take a look at Aikido. Okay, Aikido. To me, it looks like it's in a bear flag. It looks just like Bitcoin did before it took that dump. That's a nasty bear flag. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if they're rugging. I don't know what's happening, but that looks like it's going to go lower. And you'd say, how could it go any lower? I don't know. But man, all coins were kind of a cash grab, a lot of them, right? So I don't know. I have no faith in this. I wouldn't touch it. I don't like what I'm seeing. It looks so whack. Let's take a look at least the 1 hour though. Are you getting above the 200? You slowly got above the 200. You're in this flag. If Bitcoin can bounce, it'll bounce, right? If not, it just kind of... a chance you might actually get a pump here. I just think it's far too risky, far too volatile. I'm all set. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but hey, maybe it is yours. The daily looks absolutely horrible. So looks like more downside is possibly coming. I don't know though. Hey Sam, why not use 47 more capital instead of 40 sec leverage? Thank you. Because that would put more money on the exchange, which would then put you in risk. Why you want the whole point of leverage is to have less money on the exchange. So if anything ever happened, or anything ever happened, God forbid, I hope it doesn't. But if anything did, you don't lose a lot, right? Think about it. You still got your capital. So why put 47 grand into an exchange when you can use 4,700 bucks at 10 or $470 at 50 or whatever, Yeah. That's why Astrakuza. Is that Astakuza? Sam is the type of guy who licks his fingers before turning the page on his iPad every time. Not everyone has 40 sec more capital or can afford to play with it. I know. That's another great question. Yeah. Because they don't over-risk, Billionaires still go to the bank and take out loans. You know what I mean? Because they basically, when they need money, they take a loan out against their assets, triggering a non-taxable event. So if they need cash or capital, they basically take a loan out against the cash or capital, against the asset. You see what I mean? Yeah. Because a loan is not taking profit. That's what they do, and they do that over years and years on end. Right? sir, we have to use EMA or MA. I use MAs. EMAs put more weight on, like if it's a 21-day moving average or a 21-day EMA, the EMA puts more weight on 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right, the last 4 or 5 days. The simple moving averages takes every day into the same equal account. Always traded NASDAQ for the first time for me to trade Bitcoin the past 2 days. Boy, it's easy to predict. Then the past 2 days, boy, it is easy to predict than the NASDAQ. The reason I ask, because everyone says it's the other way around. So you think it's easier to predict than the MF NASDAQ. You're funny. The reason I ask is because trading spot, there should be less fees. I like that. Yes, there are less fees. I see what you're saying. Yes. Well, that's why I swing trade, right? And I'm also, if you join my trading group too, in weeks, you'll be in a higher VIP area where you have less fees than most people. We basically keep the fees pretty low comparatively to the rest of the market. MEXC has basically little to no fees, honestly. So MEXC is really the best place to trade futures. I absolutely love it. So, yeah. So you can see we've gone sideways all day, like 92.1 to 92.5 the entire stream, right? We still had a great time. We were still entertained. You don't have to live trade every day. We do most of the day. We don't have to every single day. And every day doesn't have to be the biggest win of your life. The key is to stay in the game, all right? If you want to trade where we trade, we have links to our partner exchanges, Weeks, BTCC, and MEXC. If you want to jump on in, I'd greatly appreciate that. That would be awesome. Wow, it's already 12. Yeah, it's crazy. This stream just absolutely flew by today. I don't know how it did that. I don't know how I talked this quick for 2 hours straight without a break, but we do it. We do it, and we find a way to keep this entire stream entertaining for 2 hours. I'm entertained, dang near. I learned so much just listening to the chat and reading the chat. You guys have so much to say, and I love jumping on in. It's not easy, but it felt easy. Every trade idea worked out perfectly. NASDAQ is nasty. Maybe you traded with us. We made it look easy, man. We trade Bitcoin all the time, so. Been there before. It can always go lower. Yeah, that's my one thing I used to tell beginners. It can always go lower, right? The number one thing a beginner needs to understand, it can always go lower. Yes, it can. And take out these projections. These are the 4-hour projections just kind of sitting there. If you look at really what's happening right now, we're in a bit of a symmetrical triangle here on the 1 hour time frame, as you can see. That's basically 50-50. We still kind of have that head and shoulder idea looming on us. And we've got, so I would basically say we're in a 50% pattern going either way. If we can back above the 1 minute 200, and I see that, I'll be watching all day. And I have alerts set. And if I see the model, I take it and I put it out to everyone. So if you're not watching it, but you're in the group, you're going to get my signal. You're going to see me say, hey, I like this. So today we saw a 5-second scalp that played out, really was the move. From here to there, that was the in at 92.138 it gave us, and an out at 92.664. Really was the bulk of the move during the stream today. Was that 5-minute flag that we found, and it was the 21 above the 200. I mean, the 5 seconds, sorry, the 5 minute. Heck, we were 5 seconds. We were zoomed in, baby. So yeah, I'm watching this symmetrical triangle now. You can see chop. It also looks like an inverted head and shoulder here. Hold up. Sammy sees something that he didn't see before. Shoulder. Head, right shoulder. That's interesting. That could be a nice come up to the upside here. So I'm going to watch this closely. In the next, I'd say hour, maybe less, 45 minutes, there could be a nice trade above this 200. Again, it says we only get to 94K, but it's better than nothing. So shout out to everybody here on the live. We appreciate you all for jumping on in. It's 12:02. I know I wish I could go forever, but I got to save my voice for tomorrow. We can't go forever never seems too long until you're grown, right? Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you to everyone who jumped on in and made this stream absolutely wonderful and amazing. Without your comments, your constant viewership and support, I don't think we'd ever be, there's no way we'd be as far. I know for a fact. So God bless the lifers, strong community, strong frequency. Jump on into a group that'll change your life. As I said, it's different than anything you've ever been to. Go to cryptolifer.com to understand why. And just keep pushing yourself and believe in yourself. Stay squared up. Stay fresh. Remember, I studied the billionaires and the millionaires, even people that didn't make money but were really successful, because some people, money wasn't their thing. They wanted to just change the world. And I learned successful people, man, they all had this exact same secret. It was a secret. They had the secret to success. They knew it. Shout out to Ray Gutowski. I love you, Ray. God bless you, man. Good to see you here. I still think of you all the time, man. Thank you for helping me move. Shout out to Cashmo Crypto in the house. 369 with the energies, brother. So, last thing I got to say is the secret to success. You know what it is? There's a secret to success, all right? It's getting started. That's it. I know, right? Dustin Calva in the house. I love you, bro. I'll never forget the day you told me I was just getting started, man. You changed my life, man. You have no idea how those tiny moments mean to me now when I look back. God bless you, Dustin. Thank you, man. It's so good to see you, bro. As if I could hear your voice, man. Thank you.